Good afternoon, everybody. It's WSO, January 21st. Updates. Just lots of updates. Holy crap. So, before we get started today, though, I want to come at this another angle. So, remember how I talked about corroboration of sources? Now I want to talk about the hypothesis of if Wormwood was close, this dwarf star, what could we expect to see? And this is just another way to look at corroboration. I would expect to see strange government preparations. I would expect to see space footage. I would expect to see eyewitness reports, especially from South America right now, given the fact that most of our evidence is coming from the southern hemisphere. I would expect to see increasing earthquakes and crustal movements. I would expect to see slow news leaks, more of a CYA maneuver than anything else. I'll explain. The ability to predict phenomena, when and where to see it. I think that should be part of, I should be able to expect someone to be able to tell me where to see it, when to see it. Dust clouds expected from the iron oxide cloud. Part of our whole overall hypothesis is that there is a large or a small mini solar system that is rooted by some kind of dwarf star that's covered in red iron oxide dust. And don't make me play the interview from the guy several years ago that worked on Hubble and saw it every day. Okay, you guys have heard it. And then finally, weather freak out. Climate chaos, as that French minister once said. I would expect to see these things, wouldn't you? Before the direct view, before we see it in the sky. So let's talk about the slow leak of information. This announcement that we had yesterday on the Ninth Planet that made the mainstream news media is not in any way a pat on the back to the Nibiru Wormwood, Planet X Wormwood community. What it is the slow CYA leaking of information. The reason that they're going to leak it out slow, they're going to say, oh, we thought that we saw this thing in the universe, but guess what? It's only 2 lunar distances away. It's going to slowly leak out. And there's a reason for that. The reason that they're going to leak it out slowly is because they want to cover their butts. They don't want the pitchforks and the torches to come out, folks. If we saw balls showing up in the sky out of nowhere with no slow leak of information to kind of prepare us for it, wow. Second thing I want to make a point in, don't take offense. 2012 was an honest effort at learning about this phenomenon. But the problem was I'm seeing evidence of disinformation everywhere I go, including H1 imagery, where I can actually see where they've pasted in things that just aren't supposed to be there. I really believe that in 2012, I think that what was happening was they wanted to draw out what they knew would be the religious community, because we all have the belief in Wormwood in the Book of Revelation, and the Muslims and the Jews also believe in prophetical events around apocalypse, eschatology as we call it. They knew that if it was close enough to start talking about it and seeing it in certain ways, that they could draw out this whole population, disinform you, that make you think it's coming in 2012. So when it really comes in 2016, 2017, or whenever it's supposed to come, nobody's going to believe us. So they'll have control of the message, not the community itself. Strange preparations around the earth. We all know about Jade Helm. It was clearly a military exercise to prepare the regular Army and Marines and other branches of the service to actually support the country in this time of a catastrophe. I think that's what that's all about. Russia's just announced plans to nuke earthbound asteroids, violating international treaties. The United States NASA office just talked about their asteroid detection and hazard mitigation with nuclear regulatory agencies. Unbelievable, strange preparations going on. If you haven't seen it, you're not on the internet. Just today, a couple different updates. We had Black Star. I like Terrell Black Star. I don't agree with everything that BP, Earthwatch, and Black Star say, but I'm a big fan of both. Black Star has taught me a lot about earthquakes, a lot about how that all works. And BP, of course, goes without saying, he has taught us a lot about a lot of things. But recently, we're talking now about these the increasing earthquakes as we come into what Terrell's calling the outside orbital position that puts us between the sun and this black star. That's what he's saying. And then BP he reports the facts. He goes out there and tries to find information that will be interesting, but you won't see in the mainstream media. But yeah, we see earthquakes and tsunamis, and we actually saw a small tsunami in Oregon that BP also reported on. Here's some new space footage. We've been getting a look from underneath the spacecraft here, and this has been showing up in several photographs now. We think that this is Nibiru, the winged planet, and some of its companions coming in. This is from yesterday. Oh my god, this is the strangest image in the last 72 hours. I did touch on it in an early video, but let's stop on it for a second. The story goes that this gal in Hawaii pulled over because she thought it was a really beautiful sunset, the red especially, and the orange and all that. So she just took a photograph with her camera. But when she looked at the picture, this is what she saw. Unbelievable. Now I want to plug some eyewitness testimony from South America, which I receive now on a regular basis in this network, and I appreciate all the feedback everybody's giving me. Trust me, I do use your information, and I look at everything I can. But here we are with an individual who's actually from the Netherlands, is married to a Brazilian. He lives in Santos, Brazil, and he basically ran outside as a result of looking at the videos, I think, and he went outside to actually see if the phenomenon was visible, you know, with the naked eye. And he basically, the whole city turned red for about 15 minutes at the same time. He got shots of it. And then he did say that the weather and so forth, but people are noticing it in South America. Do you really think this is all coincidence? Really? Let's take a look. I want to jump over to a couple of things that I think will be interesting, and then I'll show you a bunch of images that I've collected over the last couple of days. The first thing I want to take you to is a individual who just was introduced to me today, Xavier Schwint, from I believe this is in Brazil. This is a video that he just took on the 19th. Now I would expect to see this phenomenon directly from South America. Now check this out. Coincidence? That's right where I would expect to see it, guys. In the southern hemisphere right now. Now just wait a second. He's going to put a welding glass or some kind of a filter over it. These obviously are flares. This is not a flare. Watch. Usually welding glasses don't work for this because the object isn't bright enough. But in this case, my friends, it is, as you're going to see, bright enough. Still there. Welding glasses on. Why are they chemtrailing right now, huh? Next thing I want to take you to is the Davis Davis Skycam for today's picture. I was a skeptic too. This is the one that got me, man. When I saw the South Davis webcam for the first time in December, that's when I started making videos. Today I'm going to show you what happened today on the 21st of January. You can see that they're trying to chemtrail it. There's the circle still there. Now, people that are saying that this triangle is some kind of a lens guts, it's behind the clouds, guys. It's not lens guts. This isn't a scratch in the flare because it moves around the screen. Watch. Have you ever seen a scratch move across the screen? That's an object in the solar system coming towards us, you guys. It's getting closer. And I'm not telling you because I'm a fearmonger. I'm telling you so that you have a chance to prepare yourself so you're not made a slave when they try to bring order from chaos. Last thing I want to go through are images from the last couple of days. I've just been collecting image after image after image. And so I just want to take you through just a walk through the images I've collected, the best ones. I have hundreds more. Here's the South Davis again. This was a little earlier in the week where you could actually see the, see the triangle behind the clouds. Here's now what's making these particular images interesting is usually you've seen me show these from South America. This either reflection or actual. I think it's more likely it's some type of reflection, but of the phenomenon of the red dot and other phenomenon. What makes this interesting is the images we're collecting now are at night in the United States. which isn't the first time. Here's Evergreen, Colorado. Here's Georgia. Here's Bryan, Texas. I forget this one. I think this is Winter Haven again. Oh, no, that was in Colorado. This one's in Central Texas, all from the 20th and the 19th. This one freaked me out, man. This big red cloud in Anchorage, Alaska. At first I thought it might have been Aurora Borealis, but obviously that's red cloud matter. Evergreen, Colorado. Here's one from just a cross section that shows the phenomenon in Colorado again, only this time showing it in the side view. Here's New Mexico, 20th. I forget where this is. It's somewhere on the East Coast. All United States, by the way. Arizona. Arizona. Here might be the light emitting source. I don't know. But this phenomenon is showing up just like we saw in South America. Here's a 3-ball light that we saw I believe this is in Ohio. Here's a picture where we actually saw the other object above it. This is in North America. I believe this is from my friend Teresa Caldwell. This is just a little phenomenon I saw happening the other day. Quasar at night now, we're seeing the phenomenon. And here's the beginning of the space image that we talked about before. Here's a red cloud that we see every night now in Germany in certain sky cams where we actually see a red glow. This one freaks me out. This is again Teresa Caldwell, but she did a little bit of adjustment on this photo, I admit. But what it did was it brought out this strange appearance of the sky and the clouds. It's just not normal, man. That's just not normal. Townley Observatory, same phenomenon. My good old webcams, but what I thought was interesting about this is not necessarily the black dot, the reflection of the black dot, but here we are with the plume again, the reflection or the lens flare. This one I thought was interesting because it actually showed it on the image at 2100, and this would be off the East Coast somewhere. But this you don't see the lens flare show up on this part of it, guys. Okay, it just doesn't happen. And then this is somewhere in the mountains in the United States on January 20th. Here's Overgard, Arizona. Here's Post Observatory, Mayhill, New Mexico. In this one, we're seeing the little dot, and that looks like a cloud in the lenticular structure. But again, we're seeing this large expression of what I believe to be wormwood, either reflection or direct. Carrizo, New Mexico, same thing. Albury, California, saw the phenomenon again here and here. Not a good one in Boulder, but what I thought was interesting is we had some streaking and things like that going on in the imagery. This one blew my mind because if you look at past videos, I actually see the pattern of this planet. There should be a blue one up here somewhere. But this orbiting either pulsar or star or whatever that is, or planet, and the one behind it, that's a pattern that we've been seeing a lot of sky cams. This one's just interesting because it's so bright. And then we're back to the Davis sky cams again. Winter Haven, Florida, etc. So guys, I'm going to wrap up this video by just saying, if you think this is all coincidence, fine. Go think it's coincidence. I can't do anything about it. But if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, my friends, it's really a good time to get close to Jesus. It really is, man. He's ready. Take him up on it. He's ready to take you home, baby. He's ready to take you home.